sports.
We are the Fourth. We are Wisconsin.
This Brewers Cubs series is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. Voted best, rated best, Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. And they mean business out in the parking lot here today. Epic tailgating going. The brats are all fired up. And it's the Brewers and the Cubs. Game 3 of this 3-game series. How about last night? Travis Shaw, responsible for all 4 runs, had a pair of 2-run doubles. Chase Anderson was fantastic through 7 innings, gave up just 1 hit, and the Brewers shut out the Cubs for the first time at Miller Park in 4 years. So that sets us up for today's action. A matinee at Miller Park. Mike Montgomery, the left-hander, coming off a win against the Pirates his last time out. Jhoulys Chacin on the mound for the Brew Crew. Also a winner his last time out against the Phillies. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us this afternoon. It is a beautiful day for baseball today in Milwaukee. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Brian Anderson. Sophia Minard is our reporter. We'll hear from her in just a moment. So, Rock, we showed you the numbers of Jhoulys Chacin in his last start. He was very good against Philadelphia. He's been very good for the Brewers all year. What gives with Chacin? Why the success this year?
Well, he's throwing a lot of strikes right now, and I think for his sinker ball, the more he throws, I think the better that sinker is working. Although he has been pretty effective with the 4-seam fastball. You know, hitters really don't know what to expect with Chacin start to start. Last time out against the Phillies, had a tremendous curveball. Sometimes it's a slider. He's been able to keep the baseball in the ballpark extremely well. Since the beginning of May, he's only allowed 2 home runs. The team, with him on the mound, 11-3, he's 9-1. The Brewers are 9-1 in his last 10 starts. He has been the model of consistency. And there's something to be said for a guy that takes the ball every 5 days.
Well, series is on the line with a win today. Sophia comes back, and we will break down a play that many of us have never seen before. That's next.
Brought to you by Hupie and Abraham. Voted best, rated best. Hupie and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. What a gorgeous afternoon for baseball here in Milwaukee. A look at center fielder Lorenzo Cain and what an impact he has had with the Crew. A look at his National League ranks. 5th best in the league in steals with 12, top 10 as well in the walk to strike ratio and the on base percentage 383, 8th best in the National League. Good afternoon, everyone. Sophia Minert here at Miller Park. And when the Brewers acquired both Christian Yelich and Lorenzo Cain in the offseason, Craig Counsell said we would be talking about those two players help the team win games in a multitude of ways, and certainly the base running was the reason for the win last night. A look at Lorenzo Cain, just a brilliant play. What Craig Counsell said was flat out brilliant and showed tremendous court and field awareness, he said, to use the base basketball analogy. Christian Yelich at second, Cain with the ground ball up the middle, picked up by Javi Baez, had the awareness to know that first base was uncovered and got back on safe. Everybody safe, setting up this double for Shaw. So here we hear from Lorenzo Cain and Christian Yelich on that base running play.
I just kind of peeked back, looked back that I saw that Rizzo wasn't covering first. I guess he went home or somewhere. I don't know where he went. But you say once I noticed that he wasn't on first, I just told Yelich to get on the bag and credit him for hustling all the way.
I was kind of caught in no man's land, so I was trying to just stay in long enough for him to get the second, and he did. And once he got the second, I was just going back because they were running me back to the bag, and I heard him the whole time saying, all the way back, all the way back. He was yelling at me and pointing at the bag. So I just kept running hard, and got there. As soon as I got there, he took off back to first. And
great base running by Lorenzo Cain, and Christian Yelich gave the Brewers a 4-0 win yesterday, and even the series this afternoon. Yolis Chassin will take the mound. He's won his last 2 starts, looking to make it 3 here this afternoon against the Cubs.
Milwaukee. Anthony Rizzo sends one deep to right, and a 7-2 victory for the Cubs. Yelich caught in a rundown, and now Yelich is safe, and now Cain is going to be safe at first. Shaw lines one right field. Yelich is in. Here comes Lorenzo Cain. There's a swing and a miss. A 2-hit shutout for Milwaukee pitching tonight. Brewers turned the tables on the Cubs last night, jumping back over the Cubs and now in first place in the National League Central. First team in the National League to 40 wins, and they've got their most consistent starter, Jolie Chassin, on the mound this afternoon. It's a beautiful Wednesday. The Brewers and the Cubs, third game of this series and the rubber match of this three-game set. Great to have you with us here this afternoon. Brian Anderson, Bill Schroeder, and Sophia Minard. Check out the Cubs batting order today, turned in by Joe Madden. It's brought to you by Potawatomi. Ben Zobrist, Jason Hayward, Tommy LaStella at the top of the order. LaStella gets the start at third base. And then it's Rizzo, Happ, and Schwarber in the middle, with Baez, Jimenez, and Montgomery rounding out the starting nine. No Chris Bryant in the starting lineup for the Cubs. Jolie Chassin, 15th start of the year. He is 5-1, an ERA at 3.5, and he is ready to go. His first matchup of the year against the Chicago Cubs as he deals to Ben Zobrist. It's in there for a strike, and rock, away we go.
Yeah, very good his last time out against the Phillies. 6 1/3, 4 runs in a 12-4 Brewers victory. He did lose to the Cubs last year as a member of the Padres, a 4-0 loss. This is start number 7 for Chassin against Chicago. He's got a 3.82 earned run average against the Cubs.
Pitched well against the Cubs last year as a member of those Padres. It was about a calendar year ago in June of 2017. 0-2 to Zobrist, and he rolls over one foul. And Rock, you hit on it in our open. The reason why Chassin has been so good this year, and he got off to a little bit of a slow start, but he has been a strike throwing machine.
And he's only walked 3 batters in his last 3 starts combined. I mean, he's doing a good job in that regard.
Zobrist in the air, deep right center field. That'll be Yelich to run it down for out number 1, and that's how the day begins for Jolie Chassin.
Well, defense for the Brewers has been pretty good as of late. You got Braun, Cain, Yelich in the outfield. Covering a lot of ground out there. Brian Braun a couple of days ago had a terrific day out in left. Shaw, Arcia, Perez, Aguilar from third to first, and Eric Kratz behind home plate. Kratz sporting a pretty good bat so far as a Brewer.
Jim Reynolds is the crew chief. He'll call the balls and strikes today. Bruce Dreckman, Ben May, and Mike Easterbrook are the base umpires. 4-man crew in place. Cubs won the opener in 11 innings. They scored 5 runs in the 11th to win that game 7-2. Jason Hayward had a 3 RBI game in game 1 Monday. And then the Brewers answered that loss with a win last night, a 4-0 shutout win. One of the more impressive wins of the year. Some timely hitting, specifically by Travis Shaw, who drove in all 4 runs on a pair of 2-run doubles. And Chase Anderson, Taylor Williams, and Jacob Barnes combining for the 2-hit shutout. There's a swing and a miss by Hayward. And a ball and 2 strikes.
He's had real good command of the fastball. 4-seamer, 2-seamer. There's a 2-seamer that Hayward just swung through. You know, the slider's been a good pitch for him, and he had a really good curveball against Philadelphia.
1-2 pitch. Hayward, little tapper foul. Yesterday the Cubs, with just the 2 hits, only one of those hits touched the outfield grass. Wilson Contreras had an infield hit, and Addison Russell had the single to center field. Neither of those players are in the lineup today. Joe Madden going with LaStella at third base. He's got Happ in center field for Almora, and Baez gets the call at shortstop today. Swing and a miss. Down goes Hayward, and Chassin had him badly fooled on that off-speed pitch.
Yep, curveball, and that was the pitch of choice for Chassin against Philly. He's also got the changeup. He's also got a slider, but the curveball gets Hayward. 79 miles an hour.
Puts down a hot hitter in Jason Hayward. 2 gone for Chassin as he faces Tommy LaStella. And a bouncing ball past Shaw at third into left field. LaStella, who has been Madden's go-to pinch hitter for the last couple of years, comes up with a base hit on his first pitch seen today.
Well, let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win. It's been a good month for Jolie Chassin. He's 2-0. He's given up only 4 runs in 12 innings. The Brewers in his starts all year 11-3. And super sub Montgomery on the mound for the Cubs. His team is 3-0 with him making starts. He's in the starting spot of Kyle Hendricks. And when the sun's out, the guns are out. The Brewers are 9-4 in their last 13 day games. How do you like that? Sun's out, guns out.
That's the biceps.
That's kind of your motto, isn't it, back at home?
I mean, back at the pool a little bit later today, showing off for the neighborhood. Absolutely. Anthony Rizzo steps in now against Chassin.
Now the Brewers started out in day games this year 4-9. They've turned that completely around. Much better job in the daytime lately.
A lot of those day games for the Cubs in April in their home ballpark, of course, and a lot of cold weather, rainy, frigid temperatures to start the season. Brewers have actually played 3 more games than the Cubs. Brewers come into play today as the first team in the National League to 40 wins. Brewers are 40-27, 13 games over 500. One pitch. Rizzo, a swing and a miss, and another off-speed number by Chassin had Rizzo out in front.
And check out the break going down and in. Kind of a cross, a hybrid slider curveball pitch. 79 to 81 miles an hour.
Rizzo's had good success against Chassin in his career. He's 5 for 10. 2 of those 5 hits are home runs against Jolie Chassin. He's got him in a hole, 1-2. Runner at first, and Rizzo spoils one foul.
And Joe Maddon's sitting a lot of his starters, 4 of them to be exact. The Cubs have tomorrow off, just like the Brewers. So essentially giving guys like Bryant, Contreras, Almora 2 consecutive days off. Not to say they're not going to appear in the game today at some point.
Cubs will have the Cardinals starting Friday. Brewers will also take tomorrow off. They bring in the Phillies here to Miller Park Friday. Chassin deals, and a swing and a miss. A little hesitation at the top of that delivery by Chassin, and the curveball is on point early. A scoreless first. Scoreless in the first. Now the Brewers are coming to bat, and we remind you that today we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, $1.35 million have been raised in the challenge, and you can make a pledge right now. You can go to homerunchallenge.org and play along with us. Brewers batting order courtesy of Potawatomi, Lorenzo Cain, Christian Yelich, Ryan Braun at the top. Council has Aguilar back in the lineup with Shaw, then Perez. Eric Kratz will do the catching. Orlando Arcia at short, and Chassin rounding out the starting 9 against left-hander Mike Montgomery. He is a versatile piece for the Chicago Cubs. Can be the long man, can be a situational reliever, and he can also be a spot starter, and that's the role he's in today.
Yeah, taking the rotation spot of Kyle Hendricks, who's on the disabled list. The Cubs are 3-0 in his starts. He's only allowed 2 earned runs in those 3 starts, doing a really good job for Joe Madden in that rotation. Brewers have hit him pretty well. 13 games, 4 starts before today. Montgomery 1-5 against the Brewers.
Lorenzo Cain back in his leadoff spot, delivers a base hit to right to get the Brewers started offensively. Cain hit third yesterday with Braun out of the lineup and was all over the highlight scene last night with that terrific base running maneuver yesterday.
And just hits it where it's pitched, just serves that fastball into right field. On base as usual. What's new for Lorenzo Cain? Always seems to be on base.
One of those winning plays last night that great players who have performed on the big stage can deliver. That was something. Here's Christian Yelich now. Yelich, one of 2 left-handers in the starting lineup today for Council. He and Travis Shaw. Yelich hitting .307 coming into play. He's got an OPS of .859. He and Cain have been fantastic at the top of the order. And with Braun back in there today, the lineup is back to a normal feel with Cain leading off, Yelich, the lefty, hitting in the 2 spot in the order, which is how Council would prefer it. It gives Cain an opportunity to run a little bit. And Cain has been good in the stolen base category. Close play there. Montgomery holds runners well, and Anthony Rizzo is about as good as it gets at tagging runners. He's a left-handed thrower, and he can create some challenges for a base stealer.
That's the advantage of a left-handed throwing first baseman.
There goes Cain. Yelich swings, rolls one out to second base. Zobrist will make the play for the out. Cain advances on the 4-3 putout.
And that one stolen. What a jump he had. Let's check out the defense for the Cubs. It's been a little bit shaky for the Cubs so far this year. Schwarber, Happen, Hayward in the outfield. Hayward outstanding out there in right field. Listella, Baez on the left. Zobrist, Rizzo on the right. And Jimenez behind home plate. Chris Jimenez behind home plate. Contreras gets today off.
Ryan Braun will step in now with a runner at second. The Brewers put up a threat right away today. Brewers scored early in yesterday's game, getting 2 in the first inning, and then scored 2 more in the third for that 4-0 win.
And how big were those 2 RBIs in the first inning for the Brewers after losing a lead late? First time the Brewers lost a game the other day when trailing after 7 innings. Pretty incredible.
Yeah, and the first time the Brewers had lost a game when Josh Hader pitched in a game. Amazing you can get all the way into June and have a singular pitcher in the bullpen pitch a game and then go that far without losing a game. That was the case on Monday. Hader gave up the tying RBI hit to Jason Hayward.
I would imagine Craig Counsell would rather not have to use Hader today, but I would imagine he can give you a couple of hitters. Give him the day off and tomorrow off. Be ready to go Friday.
No balls and a strike on Ryan Braun. Cain out at second, and Montgomery misses away. Braun has always hit left-handers throughout his career. Last couple of years notwithstanding, numbers aren't quite what they've been throughout his career, but Braun, after a day off yesterday, more of a maintenance day for Ryan. Eric Thames returned to the starting lineup. There goes Cain. Braun lets him run, and the throw is late from Jimenez.
Well, you talk about 2 really good jumps. He had a really good jump when he took off to second base. And base stealers will tell you a lot of times it's easier to steal third than it is second base. Not held on as close. Quick release by Jimenez, and no contest.
Well, you see that pitch was called a strike. But Cain does end up at third base. That'll force the Cubs to bring the infield in. Braun in a 1-2 count now. Chance to get a run here as Jimenez with a nice block on a pitch in the dirt. By the way, that steal for Cain puts him in a tie for 4th in the National League. Ender Inciarte of the Braves is the league leader with 20 stolen bases. Got a couple of Washington Nationals, Trey Turner and Michael Taylor. And then Cain now tied with Starling Marte of the Pirates. 13 steals this year. This is a big one because it gives the Brewers a runner 90 feet away with just 1 out. And Braun strikes out on a pitch in the dirt. Jimenez has to secure it at first, but Montgomery gets the out, and Braun unable to get the run in.
And big curveball from Montgomery. It's a good pitch for him. 80 miles an hour. We're going to see a lot of these curveballs today for both of these pitchers. Good block by Jimenez, and Ryan Braun, a strikeout victim. And low 90s fastball for Montgomery. He'll cut the fastball from time to time. And throw a change up. That curveball, one of his better off-speed pitches.
So it'll be up to Aguilar with 2 away. Jesus comes in with gaudy numbers. Had the day off yesterday. His days off have been few and far between. After that first month of the season when he was in a bit of a rotation. Brewers have an outfield and first base rotation going. But Aguilar has secured that everyday job at first. He swung the bat very well. His OPS at 890 coming into play today.
Yeah, he needed a day off. He's been playing a lot.
Batting average at 285. Slugging at 535. And he's played a good first base. Doesn't have the most range, but whatever he can get to, he usually plays well. 2-1 on Aguilar.
And a little flinch here from Jim Reynolds. He was thinking about calling that. He called one on Braun that looked like it was off the plate.
Cain over at third. It is a 2-1 count to Aguilar, who swings and lifts it high in the air to left. Backing up on it is Schwarber, just in front of the wall to make the play, and that will retire the side. Got a special presentation for you today, folks. You're going to enjoy this. Let's send it over to Rob Edwards, the Brewers public address announcer, for our hero of the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join Network Health in recognizing today's hero, Colonel Jay Morrison, who is represented by his wife Rachel and his sons Trey and Luke. Colonel Morrison enlisted as a private in 1992, and over the last 23 years, Colonel Morrison has deployed in support of the war on terror, and most recently deployed July 2nd, 2017, assigned to the Special Operation Joint Task Force Operation Inherent Resolve. Today is Trey's 12th birthday. Colonel Morrison has missed Trey's last 3 birthdays, but today we have a special surprise. Returning just this morning and reuniting with his family for the first time in nearly a year, Colonel Jay Morrison. Sir, Network thanks you for your service and hope you enjoy today's ballgame.
What a great moment here. And welcome back, Colonel Morrison.
Man, that's something. That's powerful.
Family's so happy. And he is so happy to be back. And it's great to have him here at Miller Park. We were kind of in on the deal.
Yeah.
Thanks to Jay Morrison. He wanted to have a moment with his family, and it was great to see their faces when he walked up behind him. Beautifully done.
Well, you don't have a tear in your eye, you know, after that. I mean, you got to check your pulse. That's good stuff.
Both teams coming out of the dugouts, acknowledging Colonel Morrison and his family. And we salute all of our military members. Salute all of our veterans as well, and all of those that are able to check in on us today, that are watching this game wherever you may be. Hopefully we can bring a little bit of home to you as well. And hopefully you'll get back home quickly and safely. Chacin in a 2-1 count. We start this second inning. Brewers letting an opportunity go by in the first, stranding a runner at third. Cubs had a hit, a runner stranded at first in the first, with Rizzo striking out. Ian Happ, Kyle Schwarber, Javi Baez first up. Bouncing ball to second. And there is out number one as Happ is retired.
And that's the thing about Chacin. I mean, that good two-seamer. The two-seamer seems to be getting better. You know, the more he pitches, and that's not unusual for a sinker baller. Sometimes early in the year you're feeling a little bit strong. That sinker's not working, it flattens out, but you know, he's been able to keep the ball on the ground. He's only given up 2 home runs since the beginning of May. That's how good he's been.
Joe Madden has stacked his lineup with left-handers. Schwarber takes a first pitch breaking ball for a strike. The first 6 batters in Madden's lineup are either switch hitters or left-handers, so Chacin's going to face a lot of batters off that side, which brings in that curveball, and he's found the range on that curveball early, which is a good sign for him. It's not just the break of the pitch. He uses it as a change of pace as well, as it comes in there in the upper 70s or low 80s.
But it's the late break on the curveball. That's what makes it so effective.
0-2 pitch to Schwarber. He misses with a fastball.
And hitters don't mind a big break as long as it starts breaking early. Early big breaks are easier to hit than late breaking, short breaking off-speed pitches.
See what he does here with Schwarber. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He missed with a fastball. 7 of the 9 in the lineup, if you count the pitcher Montgomery, will hit off the left side against Chacin today. He got him. Another strikeout. That's number 3. So Chacin, first 6 batters he's faced, 3 strikeouts.
In the back of your mind, you're always thinking off speed, and Chacin at 91 up in the zone, able to get by him. Schwarber, a strikeout victim. Yeah. Season high in strikeouts for him, 7. He's done it a couple of times, not that many.
Already has 3 in the books. Here's Javier Baez as Chacin dips down 3/4 that time. Seeing a little bit different look from Chacin on a few pitches. Had a little hesitation on his delivery to Rizzo. Drops down more sidearm in the first offering to Baez. That one is in the air to right center. That's going to fall. It'll go to the wall. Baez on his way to second, and he'll stop there with a double. A 2-out double for Javier Baez, and the Cubs have a runner in scoring position for the first time.
Takes a mighty hack on every pitch, even with 2 strikes. He gets one up and in, you know, only 92 miles an hour, and able to center on this one. He's a guy that's pretty much all or nothing. He hit that one hard into the gap.
Second consecutive inning, the Cubs have a 2-out hit. And that'll bring up Chris Jimenez now, the Cubs backup catcher. Backs up Wilson Contreras. Cubs lose a lot offensively from Contreras to Jimenez. He's an excellent defender, though.
Cubs had Addison Russell in number 8 spot in the batting order first 2 games of this series. That's a big difference. Russell out of the lineup. Contreras, Bryan, Almora. That's a lot of thump on the bench.
Russell still dealing with a finger injury. He did have a hit last night, but he has not looked good at the plate. There's a spinner in there for a strike. Jimenez was with the Twins last year. He's bounced around a lot. Mostly in the American League. Played for the Indians, the Mariners, 2 tours with the Indians. Actually 3 tours with the Indians. But his first go around in the National League. Playing in just his 6th game with the Chicago Cubs.
Make a good living as a backup catcher.
Still room for you, partner.
Yeah, well, I had my chance. I'm enjoying watching these guys.
Got both the backup catchers in the lineup today. Eric Kratz gets the start as well. Kratz making his 2nd start in this series against the Cubs. He started the opener on Monday and hit a home run.
Swinging the bat well, so the bat plays.
Manny Pena gets the day off after catching last night. Pena was 0 for 4, but you got to give him a lot of credit. Runner goes. Baez. Kratz's throw to third. He's late. And the 2nd steal of third in this game already. First Cain, now Baez.
Yep, and ball 4. I think that Chacin was pitching around Jimenez with the pitcher coming up. Well, you better make sure you're going to make it. You should start stealing third with 2 outs. You know, high throw wouldn't have mattered anyway. Baez takes off, and now at third base.
Number 12 for Baez. That's his 3rd of the series. First and third with the pitcher Mike Montgomery, who has 1 hit this year. He's only had 8 plate appearances this season. Spending a lot of time in the bullpen, so he's hardly hit this year. Every starting pitcher would prefer to face his mound opponent in the 3rd inning. That's the goal when you start a game. But sometimes situation dictates where you take the better odds on an out when there are runners on, especially with runners in scoring position. Pitching around Jimenez as Montgomery flails away, and it's 1-2.
A lot of curveballs, huh? Wow.
Montgomery 1 for 6 with 4 strikeouts. Jimenez takes off. Kratz will not make a throw.
Let him go.
2nd stolen base of the inning. It's the 1st steal for the Cubs catcher. So 2-2 with runners at 2nd and 3rd. And he's hanging in there, Montgomery. Baez with a 2-out double. Stole third. Jimenez with a walk. Stole second. Cubs threatening early. Chacin trying to take care of his mound opponent. 2-2 the count with 2 outs. And Montgomery pulls one foul.
Left that one up. Everything breaking ball except for the first pitch to Montgomery here. Boy, it's been a lot of off-speed pitches so far in this game.
Last year Montgomery was more of a regular into the rotation. Actually swung the bat pretty well for the Cubs last year. He hit 185. He's a pitcher with an idea, let's put it that way, but he's still a pitcher. 2-2 again. Chacin deals and he just missed. Full count now to Montgomery with Zobrist on deck. A lot of breaking stuff to Montgomery.
Yeah, a lot of breaking stuff to everybody so far.
Got to make a big pitch early. 3-2 the count. He struck him out right at the bottom of the zone. A fastball got him, and Chacin puts up another 0. We head to the bottom of the second. Here come the Brewers.
.com/vote and cast your ballot up to 5 times per day, 35 times total, to help send your hometown crew to Washington this July for the Major League All-Star Game. Washington, D.C.
As we always say, everybody within the sound of our voices, if you went and voted the maximum amount of times, you would get all of your favorite Brewers there. So do your part. Travis Shaw certainly trending as an all-star. He is top 10 in the National League in a lot of the major categories, including home runs, where he is 4th. He's 3rd in extra base hits. He is 8th in RBIs. Yesterday drove in 4, and he comes into play today with 14 home runs, 43 runs batted in, has an OPS of 851. And Shaw will lead off this bottom of the second inning. Chacin with a strikeout of Montgomery to end the second. Cubs stranded 2 on in the top of this frame. And now Montgomery back to work. Lefty on lefty. One of the 2 lefties in the lineup for the Brewers. Shaw, with those 2 hits yesterday, was out of the starting lineup on Monday, even though he did play in the game and got 2 at-bats in Monday's game. Shaw lifts one high in the air. It's a cloudless sky. Hayward, the Gold Glover, will make the call and the catch, and out number 1.
Yeah, kind of a day you don't take your eye off the baseball. The high sky up there kind of reminds you of spring training. Well, could it be any better today, the weather? My goodness.
Took us till June 13th, but we finally got spring training weather.
Yeah, going to be hot this weekend. Hot and muggy, going to be in the 90s.
I love it. Easy to get loose.
Baseball weather.
Time to shed that winter coat.
Been trying.
One away. Here is Hernan Perez. He starts at second base today. Jonathan Villar left yesterday's game late with an injury to his calf. Not thought to be serious. Villar, while available, probably someone the Brewers would like to stay away from today if possible. You buy a full day off tomorrow. So essentially the Brewers are operating with a 4-man bench today. Thames, Pena, Santana, and Sogard. You got Thames and Sogard as the left-handed hitters on that bench. 1 ball, 1 strike, and a swing and a miss. Perez out in front.
Change up. Four-seamer, cutter for Montgomery. Curveball. And he just threw a changeup by Hernan Perez.
Today marks the 14th start of the year at second base for Perez. He has starts at second, in left field. He started 4 games at third, including the opener here Monday. Has 1 start in center and 1 in right field. 5 different positions he has started a game. The super utility man.
Starting to get his hits too. He got off to a slow start. Batting average up to 252. Nowhere near where he wants it, but he really got off to a slow start.
One ball, 2 strikes on Perez. Down he goes. A strikeout for Montgomery. Jimenez secures. Oh no, the throw is over the head of Rizzo, down into the corner, and Perez will reach second base.
Yeah, Rizzo lazy on that right there. I mean, he was assuming a good throw. He was flat-footed. Yes, the throw was high, but Anthony Rizzo really wasn't ready to jump. This is why you hustle down the line. This is why you never take anything for granted. Perez, he is running, but look at Rizzo. He's just standing there. He's not in any position to move or go either way or jump up in the air. Right there until the end.
That was a bad throw, but it wasn't an uncatchable throw. It'll go as an E2. So a strikeout, a wild pitch, and an E2, and the Brewers have a runner in scoring position with just 1 out in this second inning.
Yeah, just very nonchalant by Anthony Rizzo, and he's normally not like that.
I'll see if Kratz can cash it in here. The Brewer catcher has really swung the bat well. Has 10 hits already in just 26 plate appearances. Perez takes off, swing and a miss. Perez is safe at third. Another steal of third, the 3rd of the game, 2nd by the Brewers.
And 2 by both teams already. We're in the 2nd inning. Nobody really paying a whole lot of attention to Perez. Nobody holding him on up the middle. Sliding to the outfield side of the bag and in there easily.
So the Brewers with another golden opportunity. Both of their steals of third, Cain and Perez, has occurred with 1 out. Infield is in, and Kratz breaks his bat, pulls one into the seats.
It's worth the risk to try and steal third base with 1 out. You know, trying to steal third with 2 outs, you better make it. You get over there with 1 out, you have a chance to score on a fly ball.
Kratz now in his 3rd week as a Brewer. Made his debut on the 26th of May. Had 2 hits that day and a home run against the Mets. 7th start behind the plate for the Brew Crew, and he has hits in all of his starts. I'll take you back to Monday. This was the introduction of the home run challenge to benefit prostate cancer research, and Kratz on cue delivered his Powerball home run number 3 as a Milwaukee Brewer. Perfectly timed. And a $10,000 donation, $1 donation to prostate cancer research. Here's a 1-2 now. Down and away. '37-year-old Erik Kratz. He'll turn 38 in 2 days. He's got a birthday coming up on Friday. 2-2. Kratz in the air, shallow right. Hayward coming in, and he will make the catch. Perez goes halfway, and the Gold Glove right fielder of the Cubs comes up with an absolute gem.
Yeah.
Not just to get the out, but to prevent the run from scoring.
Yeah, and Hernan Perez was kind of caught in no man's land. I mean, he started to tag up, realized that it looked like Hayward was going to get there. I don't think he scores even if he tags up, because Hayward not only catches his baseball, watch how quickly he gets up off the ground and makes a throw to home plate. So he kind of goes about 1/3 of the way down the line. You can see him right there. If a ball drops, he's going to score. It doesn't, he has to get back.
Has a tremendous throwing arm. He's won the last 4 Gold Glove awards, the last 4 seasons. He has 5 total. And now it'll be up to Arcia with 2 away.
Plays very deep out there in right field. It was Jason Hayward, but he gets just such a good jump coming in. He can make plays on balls hit in front of him.
Two outs, runner at third, and the Brewer shortstop comes up empty. Arcia continues his struggles at the plate. Hoping beyond hope, the Brewers are, that Arcia will find something to get the confidence back. He's hitless in this series. He's best when he's going up the middle or to right field. He's trying to punch one that way, but he's down in the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
And Montgomery's going right after him, even with the pitcher on deck and first base open.
One and 2 the count. Montgomery facing Arcia. And a foul out of play. A little undecided at the plate.
Yeah, not sure why Hayward is so deep in right. I mean, he is really deep out there in the right field, and when Arcia goes in that direction, it's usually a flare. They've tried everything, has Darnell Coles. He just hasn't been able to put it together yet.
And a big at bat early. The 1-2 pitch and a foul tip. Arcia will stay alive. Arcia has good success against Montgomery. He's got some memories to call on. He's 4 for 10 career against Mike Montgomery. That's a small sample size, but he has 4 hits. He has 2 walks against this left-hander. And a little cue shot out to second. And for the second consecutive inning, the Brewers failed to get a runner home from third with less than 2 outs. Still scoreless at Miller Park. We go to the third.
Series finale, and yesterday the Brewers placed reliever Matt Albers on the disabled list with right shoulder inflammation. He saw the team doctor, Dr. William Rosh, yesterday, and Craig Counsell says it didn't reveal anything serious. They're hopeful that it will be on the shorter side of the 10-day disabled list stint, so he'll be shut down over the weekend, possibly into early next week. Similar approach to how they've managed Zach Davies' injury, who is dealing with the same injury for the second time. But good news for Zach Davies. He was out throwing a bullpen today, seemed to go well. So they will continue to progress with that. He'll do a couple more mound sessions, and Craig Counsell says he'll likely need 2 or 3 minor league rehab assignments. That is still a ways away. The Brewers will need a 5th starter coming up Tuesday against Pittsburgh.
All right, thanks a lot, Sophia. Good report there, and the Brewers are hopeful that Davies is on the comeback trail. Jimmy Nelson's still out there as well. That's a little longer recovery time from the shoulder injury, but there is hope that Nelson would be able to return later this summer, perhaps late July, August. That's if all goes well, but really no timetable yet on Jimmy Nelson. Still waiting for him to get on a mound, and which he has not done. He's been throwing on flat ground, but no side sessions on a bullpen mound just yet. A strike to Ben Zobrist as we start the 3rd inning. It's 2-1 now on Zobrist. Second time around for the Cubs against Chacin. Cubs go 2 for 8 with a walk, first time through the batting order. And a bouncing ball. The shift is on. That is Perez. And a 4-3 ground out to start the 3rd for Chacin. On the flip side, the Cubs got some good news from 2 pitchers that are on the disabled list as well. So Yu Darvish and Carl Edwards Jr. throwing side sessions yesterday. Darvish is the one of most concern, and apparently he was pain-free yesterday, so it is expected that Darvish could be back sooner than later for Joe Madden. Carl Edwards a big piece in the Cubs bullpen as well. It's just that time of year you start to try to manage injuries. Brewers have had their fair share of injuries, and yet they sit atop the standings in the National League Central and sit atop the wins total in the National League, the first to 40.
Yeah, with Eric Thames coming off the disabled list, the Brewers finally have all their position players back that were on the opening day roster. And one thing or another, we're still waiting to get that starting rotation intact. But they really have done a nice job. The Brewers, David Stearns, Craig Counsell, and filling in the gaps, covering injuries.
I know Jimmy Nelson. Sophia reported on Davies. A lot of people forget about Wade Miley because he hasn't been seen much. 2 rounds of injuries. First one coming in spring training. He's another guy that the Brewers are counting on in that rotation. Got to give a lot of credit to guys like Brent Suter and Junior Guerra. They have filled in nicely for Milwaukee.
Yes, they have. Chacin's been good. How about Chase Anderson yesterday? Wow.
Anderson's had great success against the Cubs, and he kept it going yesterday. 7 shutout innings, only 1 hit allowed. 3-2 to Hayward. On the ground, right back up the middle with the shift on. The Brewers have a man right there to make the play, Travis Shaw, and that'll be out number 2. The third baseman over there on the right side of the infield.
Yeah, 5-3 put out. You look at the scorecard, you say, oh, he grounded out to third base. Went the other way. No, he didn't.
Yeah, that's why the spray charts are more important than the scorebook entry. I'm still trying to figure out how to make those notes. I always put, so I'll put 5-3, but above the 5 I put a very small 4.
Yeah. Well, just put a line where the ball was hit.
And then it gets too messy at that point. LaStella again on the first pitch, fly ball to left, and Braun will bring it in. That'll retire the side, and a nice tidy inning for Jhoulys Chacin. Don't tell me how to do my scorebook, Ron. Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. We've had some action on the bases already today, but nobody across the pace station yet. Scoreless as we head to the bottom of the third. And the Brewers will have their pitcher Chacin lead off. Then back to the top of the order. Chacin, Cain, and Yelich coming up against Mike Montgomery. Chacin on the first pitch, a bouncer to La Stella. And there's out number 1 on the first pitch of the inning.
Well, Montgomery's been really good in his first 3 starts. As we mentioned, he's only given up 2 earned runs in 3 starts. The Cubs have won all 3 of his starts. Filling in nicely for Kyle Hendricks, who's on the disabled list. And his record pretty good. Look at the ERA.
Drafted by the Royals. He ended up with the Mariners. That's the team that brought him to the big leagues. And then Seattle, after a season and a half with the Mariners, was traded to the Cubs. This is now his 3rd year with Chicago. It's been an up and down run for Mike Montgomery. But he had a great year going in Seattle. When they made the trade, he was one of the hot commodities available on the trade market that year in 16. Montgomery on that World Series championship team. Matter of fact, got the final out game 7 that year, 2016.
Brewers have hit him around pretty good though in 13 games, 4 starts before today. Earned run average over 6 against the Brewers.
Lorenzo Cain has had a feast on lefties this season. Had a hit back in the first. He's hitting .388 now against left-handed pitchers this year. He's in a 3-0 count and he takes a strike. He wasn't really going to bunt there. He was just trying to disrupt Montgomery, trying to distract him enough to get ball 4. It's that one in the air to left. Got a chance. Back is Schwarber. He looks up. There it goes. Lorenzo Cain with a home run. Bernie hits the slide, and the Brewers lead 1-0 in the 3rd.
And what more can he do? Lorenzo Cain, my goodness. Fastball in. Turns on it. Knocks it out of here. The back leg hack for Lorenzo Cain on a fastball up and in. See ya.
That is his 8th. 2 hits today. Well, he plays with a joy that you don't see that much of.
A joy, but a seriousness, you know. He looks like he's pretty happy-go-lucky, but he's very intense. Thinks through the game. We don't have to go too far back than yesterday to remember that.
Yelich takes a strike. 1-1 the count on Yelich. What a combo at the top of the order. Cain and Yelich. Completely changes the dynamic of this team, not just on the field, in the clubhouse as well. Ryan Braun has been the Brewers' alpha dog for a while now, since Prince Fielder left. He's kind of been the lone strong voice, the veteran voice in that clubhouse, but that's not the case this year. Cain and Yelich. And I wouldn't say either Cain or Yelich are the vocal types. Braun certainly isn't either, but you got 3 guys that have all competed at a very high level, and then Cain, of course, brings some hardware too, as a former ALCS MVP and a World Series champion.
Man, don't forget about Travis Shaw. I mean, here's a guy that you know, a lot of guys keep an eye on. Doesn't have a whole lot to say, but you know, he leads by example.
Two and two on Yelich. Got him. Montgomery a strikeout for the second out of the inning. That's his second K. Check it, his third K.
Yeah, one of the strikeouts reached base.
Now with 2 gone, bases empty, here comes Braun. Ryan's starting to get the bat heated up once again. He had a great series in Philadelphia. Had 6 hits in 12 at-bats and 7 RBIs against the Phillies in that 3-game series. Phillies are coming in here on Friday. That'll be the next series at Miller Park. 3-game set. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By the way, the pitching probables have been released for the Phillies if you like to follow starting pitchers. It's a good run of 3 for the Phillies. Jake Arrieta, Zach Eflin, and Aaron Nola. Brewers will have their work cut out for them this weekend. Braun rifles one into center field, but right at Happ, and that will retire the side. However, Lorenzo Cain again against the left-handed pitcher. He's 2 for 2 today. This one on the other side of the fence. Home run number 8, and Cain has him up 1-0. Home run with 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd, and the Brewers lead 1-0 as we go to the 4th. Joely Chacin pitching well. He's got 3 scoreless innings on the board. Anthony Rizzo will lead off for Chicago. Rizzo, Ian Happ, and Kyle Schwarber. Middle of the Cubs order, 4, 5, and 6. No Chris Bryant in the Cubs lineup today. Jam shot roller to the right side. Perez will make the play for out number 1. And that's 5 in a row retired by Chacin.
You always feel like you win the lottery when Anthony Rizzo makes an out early in the count, right? I mean, one of the best run producers in the game. The Brewers have been able to handle him pretty well, except for that 11th inning on Monday night.
Yeah, he had a decisive homer in that 11th, part of a 5-run inning. That was on the first pitch of the 11th inning. Cubs have not scored since. Shutout yesterday on a 2-hitter. Chacin threw 3 today without a run. A lineup full of lefties and switch hitters for Joe Madden. Happ is the switch hitter. He grounded out to second his first time up. Down he goes. It's another strikeout for Chacin. And makes quick work of the Cubs center fielder. Strikeout number 5 for Jolis. Start your day with first things first. Chris Wright, beg your pardon, Chris Carter, Nick Wright, Jenna Wolf. First things first, weekdays on FS1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Your morning routine just got a whole lot more fun. Kyle Schwarber on the first pitch, a base hit, defies the shift. Bangs one back up the middle. Well, the Cubs, Rock, have 3 hits in this game. All of them have come with 2 outs in an inning.
And a couple of them coming on the first pitch. I mean, that's what we've seen. You know, hitters trying to do against Chacin. Attack early, first strike. Kyle Schwarber snapped an 0 for 16 with that base hit.
Which will give Javier Baez a swing in this 4th inning. He had been 0 for 18 until he had a couple of hits on Monday. 2 outs in the inning. Baez takes a strike from Chacin. First pitch fastball is in there. Baez doubled into right center. He stole third. Was left stranded at third base. Cubs left 2 on in the 2nd inning. Chacin struck out the pitcher Montgomery to get out of that inning. Little slide step. Chacin misses low. It's always fun to watch Chacin and all the variations he'll come up with on the mound, especially when runners are on base. He's got a little twist. He's got a 3/4 delivery, a hesitation, a slide step.
Not just to disrupt the timing of the hitter, but the base runner as well.
He's a pitcher's pitcher. High leg kick this time, and a wave and a miss. Baez out in front of that. Good curveball from Jolis.
80 miles an hour.
That's been his bread and butter so far today. One ball, 2 strikes on Baez. Kratz sets up outside. And a fastball, jam shot to third, barehanded Shaw, throws late. Infield hit for Baez.
Just ate him up inside, but Travis Shaw playing behind the bag as you should. Yeah, with Baez. Baez making contact, giving himself a chance, and reaches up and in, makes contact, and with his good speed he's able to beat it at first base. Shaw playing way behind the bag.
Only chance he had with the bare hand pickup. But Baez runs too well. He's got 2 hits on inside corner fastballs. Now it is Jimenez who takes a first pitch bender, buckled his knees for strike 1. There's the get over curve, and then there's the put away curve for Chacin. He's had them both working today. Jimenez, the only walk issued by Chacin today. That would fall under the unintentional, intentional variety, with the pitcher due up next and a runner at second. He was working around Jimenez to see if he would bite.
You don't have that luxury now. You got a couple of men on, first base occupied.
2 outs in the inning. Second time the Cubs have had 2 on. And Chacin in the driver's seat here, 0-2. He has struck out 5 already. His season high is 7. Chacin's velocity is back where the Brewers hoped it would be. His first few starts of the season, he was having a tough time hitting 91. He was working hard to hit 91. He's been consistently riding 93, 94 with that fastball.
And 4 seamers, 2 seamers, a little bit less.
The 1-2 pitch, and it is just outside. Didn't miss by much. Put it right where he wanted, but Jimenez with a good take. If looks could kill, right?
He's thinking, how do you take that?
So from 0-2 to 2-2. And the breaking ball is sent deep into left field, but Braun is there, and the inning is over. Just missed it on the bat. And a long, loud out to end the inning, and the Cubs strand a pair.
Things that even he has never done before. He hit his first ever multiple home runs in 2 consecutive games at Safeco Field. He now has 4 home runs on back-to-back nights in that series. The Angels took the loss in that game, but he now has 23 home runs on the season, leading all of baseball, and he now becomes the only player in MLB history to have 7 seasons of 20-plus home runs and 10-plus stolen bases, all before the age of 27. So Mike Trout just doing ridiculous things right now. 23 homers. You see JD Martinez behind him with 21, and Bryce Harper and Jose Ramirez with 19.
The unquestioned best player in the game, Mike Trout, both sides of the ball as well.
I don't think there's any question about that. You're right.
23 home runs leads the majors. He has just 242 at-bats. 23 homers.
How many walks in there?
He has walked major league leading 54 times this year. He leads the league in a ton of categories, including on-base percentage, OPS plus, whatever it takes.
I guess why would you keep pitching to him, right, if you don't have to?
Here's Jesus Aguilar, who leads off for the Brewers in this 4th inning.
You're going to start walking him intentionally with nobody on base.
I think Mike Trout is the main reason why Shohei Ohtani wanted to play for the Angels in that Ohtani sweepstakes this offseason. Angels are holding their breath on Ohtani. He is likely to need Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, that's too bad.
He was one of the big stories in the game the first month of the year. Prolific home runs, throwing 100 miles an hour. He is on the shelf, and now the Angels are trying to decide what is next. Do they try to rehab the elbow? And he could continue to hit for the Angels if he did that. Or do you go ahead and have the surgery, get it fixed? He actually came to the Angels with a bit of an elbow injury anyway. So they knew that there was something in there. They're in it for the long term with Ohtani.
That's that split-fingered fastball. That's a killer. And that thing will tear up an elbow. And he had a good one before he got hurt.
Hitters count for Jesus Aguilar. And he dropped a little changeup in there for a strike on a 3-1 pitch. Chacin got away with a hanging breaking ball to Jimenez. Hit a high fly ball to left. Left the bat, looked like a 3-run homer. Instead, it was the last out of the inning. Now Aguilar whistles one to left, but right at Schwarber. Hit it right on the nose, but right at the Cubs left fielder.
Hey, cap off the work week by heading to Miller Park for the season's first 5-county Friday. This Friday at 7 o'clock, the Brewers host the Phillies in the opener of a 3-game series, and all 5-county residents can save 50% on tickets. To learn more, visit brewers.com/5county.
You ever go shirtless in the stands on a sunny day, Rock, back in your youth?
Yeah, back in my youth, yep. High school, college. I would not dream of doing that now.
As a public service announcement.
Right.
Here's Travis Shaw.
Yep, those days are over. How about you?
No chance.
No.
I can't remember ever doing that at a game. Of course, I always went to games in the Astrodome, so that really wasn't an option.
Right.
It was the closest major league ballpark to my hometown. There's a little tapper right back to the mound. Montgomery hustles one over to first base for out number 2. I don't want to soak up all the rays from everybody else here. That's the beauty of Miller Park, though. You get the best of both worlds in this ballpark. You can enjoy the shade, and it has the feel of an outdoor game because the way the roof opens up. Or if you like to soak up some rays, you can buy a seat in the sun. There it is. There's that line. What a ballpark.
Got to be sun smart these days, right? Get the suntan, the sunscreen.
Get your big floppy hat. It is an ideal day for the grand old game today. And no better place to be than Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Brewers are going to enjoy a number of games here at Miller Park over the next month. Perez breaks his bat, and a little pop up. It's going to be the cleanest inning of the game for Mike Montgomery. Retires the Brewers in order. A 3-up, 3-down fourth. We head to the 5th inning. It's 1-0 Brewers. And we're headed to the 5th inning now with Jolie Chacin pitching a gem. He has stranded 2 Cubs on 2 occasions. Left 2 on in the 2nd, left 2 more in the 4th. 5 total left on for Chicago. And Chacin will have the pitcher Montgomery to start the inning. It's a fastball by him. Boy, he's really had a good curveball today, Rock, and the Cubs hitters have not been able to time it up just yet.
It almost seems like they're starting to sit on that pitch. In that last at bat for Jimenez, you know, he hit that curveball pretty hard in the left field after taking a marginal fastball just off the outside corner, which leads me to believe that they're starting to go up there and hunt for that curveball.
There's a breaking ball that breaks the bat of Montgomery. Perez hustles it over to first just in time. Good play by Hernan Perez on a little slow roller to second base.
Now you're back there behind home plate. You start seeing guys taking fastballs for strikes. Kind of gives you the indication they might not be looking for that pitch anymore, looking for the curve. Chacin left that curveball to Jimenez up a little bit, nearly hit it out of the ballpark.
So we'll see if the game plan changes now. Third time through the batting order with Zobrist at the plate, who is 0 for 2 today. He starts him with a fastball. There's the spinner. 2-0. Cubs have 4 hits, 3 singles and a double. Baez is 2 for 2. He has the double. And now the count 3-0 on Zobrist.
He's been known to swing 3-0.
And he takes ball 4. 4-pitch walk. Another base runner for the Cubs. First time Zobrist has reached. Back in the stretch goes Chacin. That is Jolie's second walk of the game.
First base runner for the Cubs before 2 are out.
And that'll bring up Jason Hayward. Hayward's already saved a run with some supreme glove work, a sliding catch in right field, preventing the Brewers from scoring a run. That was on a little flare by Eric Kratz in the second inning. I think it's safe to say Hayward is in his most successful window as a Cub right now. He is really swinging the bat well. He's changed his approach a little bit. He's deep and far back in the box, away from the plate. And that's opened up a lot for him.
And better able to handle the pitch inside. Change up. He likes to get his arms extended. You put one on the outer half of the plate, he'll smoke it somewhere, even though he's so far off the plate.
Hayward burst onto the scene his first year in the big leagues. He finished second in the Rookie of the Year voting that year. Buster Posey won the award that season. That was back in the 2010 season. The year Posey and the Giants won the World Series. Hayward was an all-star that year as a rookie. Has not made it back to that level, but he's been one of the elite defenders in the game. Had a year in St. Louis. This is his third with the Cubs. He signed an 8-year contract with the Cubs.
A little confusion for Travis Shaw as to where to be. Sprinted over to second base. Carlos Sabero said, "No, get back to third."
Chacin trying to get a ground ball out of Hayward. He does get a lot of ground balls. That's 2-2 now. Chacin's first start against the Cubs this season. He has Had 7 starts against Chicago now. This is number 7. 8th appearance in his career. Lost to the Cubs last year at Wrigley while pitching for the Padres, where he pitched well. 6 innings, 2 runs. Very similar lineup that he's facing today. Loaded with lefties. Full count to Hayward.
And trying to get Hayward on the changeup. He's missed all 3 times. Let's see if Zobrist is on the move here on the full count.
Three and 2, 1 away. Zobrist starts then stops, and Hayward fouls it away. One of Chacin's best starts of his major league career was against the Cubs. It was a while back. It was back in 2011. It is still his longest outing of the year, of his career, I should say. Went the distance against the Cubs early in the season, 2011. Do it again. Another 3-2 pitch. Zobrist goes. Ground ball, chopped foul. And we'll reset it.
And Hayward picked that curveball literally right off the ground. Good pitch down out of the strike zone, but Hayward went after it.
This will be pitch number 8 of the at-bat. Brewers lead 1-0 on a Cain 3rd inning homer. Zobrist at first. Takes off, and it's outside, ball 4. Just couldn't find the spot to get him out. 8-pitch battle, and Hayward wins it. And now back-to-back walks have the Cubs threatening here with LaStella coming up.
And off speed, first 3 times it was the changeup that he missed off the outside corner. Then went with a curveball, missed with that. 3 walks in the game, and 3 prior starts, a combined 3 walks. Those walks have a tendency of catching up to you.
Chacin had a 4-walk game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. That was a game in which he did not allow a run, but only lasted 5 innings. Has 3 in this one. You give him a pass on the first one, pitching around the 8th place hitter to face the pitcher. But back-to-back walks here with 1 out in the 5th, and the Cubs are right where they want to be in their batting order now with 2 on. Here's Tommy LaStella. LaStella had a single on the first pitch he saw in the first. Swung at the first pitch in the 3rd inning and flew out to left. LaStella has bounced into 2 double plays this year. Gets occasional starts, but usually plays every game. He is the #1 pinch hitter for Joe Madden. He is his best option, and we've seen him in a pinch hit role already in this series. 2 on, 1 away. Screws tightening up here in a 1-0 game for Chacin. Strike 1 and 2. Big pitch
right at the bottom of the strike zone. Good pitch is right. Keep that baseball down, try to get the double play right at the knees.
long look in as Kratz goes through the signs, and now Chacin will reset. It's a staring contest. Who blinks first? Two on, one away. Chacin deals, and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Strikeout number 6 for Chacin, the second out of the inning.
He's throwing a lot of pitches at 88 miles an hour. He threw a bunch of them to the Stella here. That's actually a splitter, split change. He just broke that out this inning. He tried to throw that pitch to Jason Hayward 3 different times and missed with it. Crafty veteran coming up with stuff.
Here is Rizzo now. The big bat in the Cubs lineup today as Chacin drops a curveball in for a strike. Thirty-year-old Jolie Chacin, native of Venezuela. He's coming up with the kitchen sink here right now to get through this 5th inning. With so many pitches at his disposal, it takes he and Kratz a while to get through all the numbers.
He's probably going into the dugouts. I didn't even know he threw one of those.
I'm not sure I knew he threw one of those.
Yeah, well, 3rd time through, he's breaking that pitch out. He hadn't thrown that pitch until this inning.
He's got the one he likes here. 1 ball, 1 strike on Rizzo. Ground ball, first base, tough hop. Aguilar's there. Chacin covers in time to get out of the inning. It's good pitching by Jolie Chacin. A couple of walks, but he survives. Cubs strand 2 more. Pitching, not just throwing, but pitching by Jolie Chacin last inning.
Yeah, the key to the different pitches that any pitcher throws is to have that same delivery and any idiosyncrasy. Anything you do different with one pitch or another, hitters are going to pick this stuff up. Now we're going to overlay 2 pitches, a fastball and a curveball for Chacin. Look at the identical delivery, same release point. It's just a matter of the grip and the release of the baseball that changes the trajectory. It's going to spin, it's going to break, it's going to go up in the strike zone. But if you have the same exact release point, the same delivery, you hide your pitches and they don't know what's coming.
Starts in the same tunnel, 10 miles an hour slower, and
the big break. That's the difference between the fastball and the curveball of Jolie Chassin. Good stuff.
It's good work down in the production truck.
And hitters are so savvy. Any little difference at all, you're trying to gauge release point. Maybe a pitcher throws a curveball, the ball might shoot up into the air, or you may throw it from a different spot. Anything to tip off a hitter.
It's not even, you know, as easy as that. I mean, if your index finger on your glove is sticking straight up on a curveball, they're going to identify that. You know, maybe you stick your tongue out on a fastball or something. I mean, something ridiculous that you would think wouldn't even matter. These guys pick that up, and you start tipping your pitches, you're in trouble.
Eric Kratz takes a called strike 3 from Montgomery. So the lesson in all of that, if you're an amateur pitcher out there and you're working at your craft, is to get in front of a mirror, maybe have somebody video you from the front and from the side, and try to replicate that release point every time on all of your pitches. Now, that's really the art of pitching, because you have to manipulate the ball differently with a breaking ball versus a fastball and a changeup. So it's not easy to do. Your body may want to put your arm in a different position. As Arcia bounces to second, and 2 quick outs here for Montgomery.
Yeah, if you drop your release point even an inch on a curveball, they're going to know. They'll figure that out. Especially in this day, and even when I was playing, I mean, you had guys like, you know, Ted Simmons and Yount and Molitor, guys are, you know, honing in on pitchers and the different things that they would do different on every pitch. I mean, they pick that stuff up, and you get your brains beat out if that's the case.
Chassin will bat here in the 5th, so it looks like he will return for the 6th inning. No activity in the Brewer bullpen. He's had to work for his 5 shutout innings, as the Cubs have left 7 men on base today.
You know, the other half of that, sometimes catchers will give away what pitch you're throwing.
By the way they set up.
By the way you set up. I mean, maybe move back a little bit on a fastball, inch up a little bit on a breaking pitch to make it look a little bit more like a strike when you catch it. All those things are closely watched.
Quickly 0-2 on Chassin. Ground ball. LaStella. And a very quick inning for Mike Montgomery. Retires the Brewers in order. 1-2-3 with a strikeout. 5 in the books. It's still 1-0 Brew Crew. Sixth. Tomorrow is an off day for both teams. The Brewers will bring in the Phillies here on Friday. Look at the pitching matchups. Good ones across the board. Miller Lite, what's on tap? Jake Arrieta, former Cy Young Award winner, former Cub. matching up against Brent Suter, Zach Eflin, Aaron Nola will finish the series, and the Brewers will have Junior Guerra and Chase Anderson. Brewers operating in a 4-man rotation right now. And look at our Verizon player profile. You got to go with Ryan Braun on this one. His success against the Phillies in that series at Citizens Bank Park. He went 6 for 12, had a couple of homers, 7 RBIs.
Yeah.
He's had 24 homers in 69 games against the Fightin' Phils.
Yeah, Brewers had 24 runs in 2 innings against the Phillies. They beat Jake Arrieta. I'll tell you, Eflin threw a really good game on Sunday against Milwaukee.
First ball swinging is Ian Happ. Sun is out. Cain coming over to make the play with the sunglasses on. It's an interesting shot we had there as we were talking about Braun and his offense against the Phillies, but you might have noticed he looked over at Lorenzo Cain, pointed to the sun, said, look, help me out here. And that's a much better angle for Cain on a fly ball like that. Makes it easy on Braun.
Yep. Well, Brewer outfielders should be used to it at this point, right? So Brawny recognizing that the sun's starting to be an issue, needs some help.
First man retired for Chacin here in the 6th inning. Kyle Schwarber had a single his last time up as one of the 4 Cubs hits. And Chacin ahead of him 0-2. Nothing but strikes here in the 6th inning from Chacin. So interesting watching Chacin. That was a slide step. Nobody on base.
He's trying to disrupt the timing of Schwarber. Had nothing to do with anything other than that.
Doesn't let you get in that rhythm as a hitter.
Delivery, hesitation every now and again. He'll drop down just a little bit every so often.
1-2 the count. Fastball just missed. A little bit low. I think he had it fooled though. Schwarber wasn't ready for that 93-mile-an-hour heater. Schwarber does have a very good eye. He is the Cubs leader in walks. 2-2 pitch. High drive into right center field. Long run for Cain, and he'll run it down.
Yep, didn't get it. Didn't get it on the barrel.
Sounded a little clunky.
Yeah.
2 up, 2 down. 2 outs to the center fielder Cain.
Didn't have that sound.
Trying to disrupt the timing. That's the result you're looking for. Stay off the barrel of the bat.
Yeah, that's all it's about. And for pitchers,
here is Baez. Baez with 2 hits today, both coming on inside fastballs. Had a double in the 2nd inning and then had a little infield dribbler in the 4th.
and both pitches up in the strike zone. And keep it down, particularly with the curveball, maybe splitter here. Trying to break that pitch out last inning.
Here comes a 1-1. Baez a wave and a miss. Same spot. Baez missed it by a mile. 1-2 the count. Chacin pouring in the strikes. A little wry smile for Eric Kratz. 1-2. And Baez, a little tapper. Chacin has thrown 11 pitches in this inning, 8 of them for strikes. After walking back-to-back hitters last inning, he rallied, struck out La Stella, got Rizzo to bounce out to end the inning.
Just got away with a hanging curveball to Baez. That's a dangerous pitch to this guy.
Do it again. Another 1-2, and he got him this time. A dandy. That sharp curveball. Baez strikes out. Chacin has 7, which matches his season high, and he has shut out the Cubs through 6. Only run on the board. That swing by Cain. He'll lead off when we continue. Brewers coming up, bottom of the 6th.
A 1-0 lead here in the 6th. And taking a look at our Brewers minor league scouting report brought to you by UW Whitewater. Keston Hiura, the Brewers' top prospect, 5th best in all of minor league baseball. Last night went 2 for 4 with a double, a run, and an RBI. And in 11 games since being called up to AA from Carolina, he just continues to rake a .341 average, 5 doubles, and 6 runs scored. So Keston Hiura moving up.
What a hitter he is. He is having a great run. And the Brewers are very high on that young player. Hard to find guys who swing the bat like him. Lorenzo Cain leads off. The Brewers lead this game 1-0 after shutting out the Cubs yesterday. Chacin threw 6 shutout innings with 7 strikeouts.
Starting pitching been pretty good in this series so far.
Yeah, Guerra to Anderson to Chacin. Guerra only gave up 1 earned run. Anderson with 7 shutout yesterday, and Chacin threw 6 today. Lorenzo Cain is 2 for 2 against Montgomery this afternoon.
And now 20 for 50 against lefties. Pretty good work.
A .400 batting average against left-handed pitching. Homered in the 3rd. And he goes, unable to check it. Cain also has a stolen base. 2 hits, a steal. RBI, run scored. He's filling up the box score today. 2-2. Down and in, 3-2.
This guy hadn't been bad either, Montgomery. Starting pitching has been very good on both ends, both sides. 73 pitches is all as he works here in the 6th inning.
And he misses to Cain, ball 4. His perfect day at the plate continues. Cain draws a leadoff walk, and now the Brewers in business in this 6th inning.
First walk of the day for Montgomery.
Montgomery would prefer to be a starting pitcher. That's where he feels most comfortable. And the way he was going in Seattle, it looked like he was going to be on that arc. It's one of the top left-handers in the AL. That one year with Seattle before he was traded, he had a 2.34 ERA. He made a couple of starts. His first year with the Mariners, he was exclusively a starting pitcher. They moved him into the bullpen, but the Cubs acquired him in 16 knowing that he could start, be a fill-in in the rotation, or pitch out of the bullpen. But this is where he wants to be, and he's been given that chance with injuries this season. Cubs are 2 starters down with Yu Darvish on the disabled list.
Kyle Hendricks.
One ball, one strike. Yelich on the ground, got a chance to turn it here. Zobrist to Baez, and it's a 4-6-3 double play. Wipes out the leadoff walk. And Yelich is 0 for 3. Room service double play.
Yeah, about as easy as it gets. You know, fastball pretty much down the middle. I think it was a cutter. And that's about as routine as it gets.
So the base is empty now, 2 outs, and here comes Ryan Braun. Cubs and Brewers have already played 11 times this year, this being the 11th. Brewers are 2-8, but a big win last night. 19 total meetings this season. Braun down the right field line, slicing foul. Ryan's on the Powerball home run leaderboard. He has hit 8 this year, despite some time on the DL. Travis Shaw, the club leader, currently tied for 4th in the National League. Aguilar with 11, and then you got a trio with 8. Usually the 3 at the top of the batting order: Cain, Yelich, and Braun. One ball, one strike. Chopper to third. Tough hop. Nice pick by LaStella. And Braun is out. And Montgomery continues to pitch well. Works around a leadoff walk. But the Brewers have the lead, 1-0.
video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
We're back at Miller Park. The Brewers with a 1-0 lead as we head to the 7th. And the Brewers Community Foundation will once again feature the 50-50 raffle at every home game. Sellers will be in bright orange polos selling $2 tickets and hoping to make your day. So one winner per game will take home 50% of the day's proceeds, and the other 50% will support children and their families in Greater Milwaukee and Wisconsin.
And Sophia, you know what that means now. You are not eligible anymore. Big announcement today, Rock. Did you see Sophia now a part of the Brewers family? She officially hired.
Brewers employee is, you know, her title involves director of broadcasting. Now, amongst all the other bosses we have, apparently Sophia's our boss.
Which is nothing new from yesterday.
Right. Well, that hasn't changed. But Sophia, just wondering, can we have tomorrow off?
You absolutely can have tomorrow off, but this by no means makes you the boss, Rock. I would never assume that kind of responsibility.
Nah, congratulations. You deserve it.
Thank you, Rock.
Thanks,
BA.
Give us a quick idea what some of the different things you'll be offering. I know you're going to be doing some more of the digital content that the Brewers are introducing.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that we can work on maybe some off-season projects, possibly winter meetings. Obviously, a lot of attention at spring training. I think that'll be a great opportunity to dive into more kind of feature content, get to know these guys personally. We'll do kind of daily spring training reports. We'll be obviously on the games and the webcast, so it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to just dive into this role full-time.
Well, you've earned it, and things won't change for the fans of Fox Sports Wisconsin and Sophia. She'll be on our broadcast as normal, but a lot of ancillary content she'll be delivering as well in English and Espanol.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, very talented Sophia, bilingual. I think that's the only 2 languages she speaks. I don't know.
She was working on Korean until Ji-Man Choi got traded. Now she shelved that for a while. She's still working on Schroeder.
Okay. That's a language in itself.
Jeremy Jeffress facing Jimenez, and a ground ball to short. Arcia scoops it up. Out number 1. So let's set up Jeffress now. After the starters continue to dominate in the series for the Brewers, Counsell turns it over to his bullpen.
Yeah, Jeffress has been terrific. I mean, the starting pitching for the Brewers in this series, 3 games, 19 innings, 10 hits, 1 run, 17 punch-outs. That's a .47 earned run average. Guerra, Anderson, Chassin, and Jeremy Jeffress continues here, 33rd appearance and a .55 earned run average. Jeremy pitched on Monday, a 3-up, 3-down 10th inning against the Cubs that included a couple of strikeouts.
He was lights out on Monday, facing Addison Russell, who pinch hits for Montgomery. Both starters are now out. Both go 6 innings.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Craig Counsell might want to get 2 innings out of Jeffress and then bring on Knebel. We'll see how it goes. We'll keep an eye on the pitch count.
Counsell would like to avoid using Hader. Had a multi-inning outing, getting in 2/3 on Monday, and typically when he pitches across 2 innings, it is 2 days off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Russell coming off the bench. Brewers lead 1-0 on a Cain homer. There's a chopper, slow roller, third base. Shaw, bare hands, throw to first is late, and it's an infield hit.
Another one. Boy.
Very similar infield hit off the bat of Baez back in the 4th inning.
Contreras had one of those in yesterday's game. The only hit allowed by Chase Anderson, the 2nd today. Gets jammed on a Jeffress fastball, just gets eaten up. And with Travis Shaw playing behind the bag, really no chance for him to get Russell.
So now the Cubs go back to the top of their order with a man on. That is their 5th hit. They've out-hit the Brewers 5-2. But one of those 2 hits for Milwaukee was a long ball from Cain, and that's the difference in the score right now. Zobrist hitting leadoff today. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Jolie Chassin goes 6 shutout innings, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts. He walked 3. And he is in line for the win. Montgomery on the hook for the loss despite pitching well. Kratz able to run that one down. Russell didn't see it right away. Brewers might have caught a break right there, and I don't know if it hit Kratz or the home plate umpire, but it stayed in the vicinity.
Well, Russell just didn't know where the baseball was.
Oh, he took it right in the chest, textbook.
And then he gets kicked by Zobrist inadvertently.
Russell does not run often. Only has 2 attempts this year. He's 2 for 2 in stolen base opportunities. There's a strike, and it's 1-1 on Zobrist. Jeffress does get a lot of ground balls. Could use a double play here. The Brewers would rather not face Hayward with runners on. Hayward due next. Zobrist is grounded into just 2 double plays. Normally lifts the ball.
And very rarely swings out of the strike zone. This entire Cubs lineup, I mean, worked the count extremely well. A couple of free swingers. But you got to throw strikes to get these guys.
2 balls and a strike. 2-2. Joe Madden has some pretty heavy lumber on his bench here today. He's got Almora, who's top 10 in the league in batting average. Chris Bryant is available off the bench. And Wilson Contreras.
You can see Bryant back there starting to limber himself up a little bit.
It's just a 4-man bench for Joe Madden. He's already used Russell, who's at first, reaching on an infield hit. 2-2. Jeffress will check on Russell. These are the kind of games that the Brewers and the Cubs have been playing all year. Low scoring, well pitched, close games. Zobrist fouls it away.
Another split change.
In that 4-game series at Wrigley in April, the Cubs shut out the Brewers on 3 occasions in that 4-game series. Brewers are trying to hand them back-to-back shutouts here at Miller Park. Going back to the split change. 2-2 the count. Zobrist lays off and the count goes full now. And we'll see if that means Russell will take off with the pitch. Russell reaching on an infield hit. A pinch hit at bat. There he goes. Zobrist fouls it away.
Keeps going to that split change. He's thrown 1 curveball to Zobrist in this at bat. That was the first pitch that he threw to him. Pitch out of the strike zone. And a lot of splitters.
Three-two, runner goes. Zobrist in the air to left. He got a fastball in on his hands, and Braun will run it down. Good pitching there by Jeffress, retiring a good hitter. Back to first goes Russell. 2 gone in the 7th.
Yep, all those split changes, and he changed the angle a little bit with a big fastball. Jammed him. Today's time of the game, Pier and Boom's Bar in Kimberly. Try saying that 10 times fast. If they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Here in Booms.
Say hello to our friends in Kimberly. Here is Hayward. He's been among the hottest Cubs hitter lately. And had a game-tying RBI in the 8th inning on Monday. He's up there with 2 outs. Russell at first, and Jeffress slings a strike in there, a fastball. That outside corner on Jason Hayward is so inviting because he stands so far from the plate, but he can reach it.
That's where he wants it, though. Going out there.
Sets up out there. The pitch is swung on and missed. Another sinking fastball by Jeffress. The split change. He doesn't dig it in like a split finger pitch. It's just a little break of the fingers. That's why he throws it so hard.
Just to slow it down a little bit. It's his changeup.
See if we can get Russell to bite it first. Russell did take off on a 3-2 pitch. But does not look like he wants to run against Jeffress. No balls and 2 strikes. Tried another one. 1 and 2.
A lot of them in this inning.
Visualizing. That's been a big part of Hayward's success too. Trying to see the good result. Every good athlete does that. 1 and 2 the count. Jeffress trying to get through the 7th, and a swing and a foul. He just got a piece. Took a big hack.
Yeah, throwing the curveball. Left it up a little bit, and Hayward out in front. So splitter curveball. Let's see if he does what he did to Zobrist and elevate the fastball. Try to get in on his hands, or even better yet, blow it right by him.
Tying run at first. Here's a 1-2. Runner goes, and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Inning is over. Jeremy Jeffress with the punch out. Side retired, shutout intact. The split change again. And Hayward is gone. Brewers coming up, bottom of the 7th. To lock in your seats. Season ticket packages for the 2018-19 season are on sale right now. You can purchase yours today through foxsportswisconsin.com/events. Bottom of the 7th at Miller Park. Our game reset brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. The lone tally on the board. Lorenzo Cain's home run in the 3rd. A solo shot, his 8th home run of the year. And Jolie Chassin continues the theme of successful starting pitching in this series.
It's only been one bad inning for the Brewers pitching. Matter of fact, it really hasn't been a whole lot of offense on either side throughout this series. A 5-run 11th inning for the Cubs has been just about it. The Cubs have not been able to scratch out a run since.
Justin Wilson is first out of the bullpen for Joe Madden. Hard throwing left-hander. He pitched well on Monday. Aguilar leads away. Aguilar, the cleanup hitter, then Shaw, then Perez. Brewers have been out hit 5-2, but they made one of those hits count.
The series reminds you a lot of that 4-game series at Wrigley Field, and everybody was blaming the weather. Guess what? It's not the weather, it's the pitching.
It's the talent on the mound, right?
Exactly.
Two and one to Jesus Aguilar. Brewer starting pitching in the series, fantastic. Starting with Junior Guerra, gave up just 1 earned run. Chase Anderson, 7 innings, no runs yesterday, only 1 hit. Chassin, 6 shutout today. So that's 19 innings by Brewer starters in this series. 1 earned run, 17 strikeouts.
And the Cubs had come into this series swinging the bats extremely well.
Can't ask for much more than that. Guerra left with a lead. It was 2-1 when he exited. Of course, Anderson winning yesterday. Ground ball up the middle, and Russell, I beg your pardon, Baez can't get there, and it'll be a base hit for Aguilar. Had him covered in the hole, and Baez had a long way to go. He's a little shaken up.
Second straight inning the Brewers have had their leadoff hitter on. Just shortening up with 2 strikes. He gets a piece of it, able to make contact, and no play for Baez. That guy just throws his body around all over the field, on the bases, playing defense.
It's like something in his left leg bothering him somewhere. Here is Shaw, and a swing and a miss. Travis drove in 4 yesterday. He's the Brewers leader in RBIs with 43. He would love to give the Brewers some insurance right here. No balls and a strike. Shaw takes a ball down and away. 1-1 the count. Shaw does not have a home run this year off a left-handed pitcher. All 14 have been against right-handers. And Wilson, a tough left-hander. Travis was traded from the Red Sox to the Brewers and declared early spring training last year that he believes he can hit lefties and should be an everyday player, and he lived up to it last year. This year the numbers a little down against left-handed pitching. Three balls and a strike on Shaw.
Well, this equals the playing field a little bit. Lefty versus lefty. Travis has the count in his favor.
And Shaw draws the walk. So the Brewers with 2 on to start this 7th inning. And Joe Madden,
Nobody throwing in the pen.
sends Jimenez out to the mound. It's a strategy discussion here. He's not trying to buy any time. Nobody is warming up.
See if Perez is up there to bunt. I would not be surprised if we don't see a bunt here.
That is a rare bird among position players in the big leagues these days, but Perez is an excellent bunter.
Yep, down near the bottom of the order, you got some lefties on the bench.
Cubs just now get activity in their pen. Steve Cishek starts to throw. Perez at the plate. 2 on, nobody out. And not bunting. Perez takes a strike. Cubs are thinking along with you, partner. They've got Rizzo and La Stella both in on the grass.
Well, you do that. I mean, the only reason you would do it, you're at the bottom of the order. You got the 7th hitter up. I should say the 6th hitter up, and you got some lefties on the bench that you can go to if need be. If the Cubs go to the right-hander out there.
0-2 the count.
They stick with Montgomery. You got Pena Santana available.
A bunt is not an automatic sacrifice. That's one thing Counsell reminds us of all the time. And a couple of things working against him here. You got a slow runner at second and a very good fielder at first in Rizzo. Now 2 strikes. Comes back up. And Perez trying to shoot one to right, fouls it away. No balls and 2 strikes on Hernan Perez. Justin Wilson getting himself into some trouble in the 7th inning. 1-2. A lot of managers will tell you they want to take 3 cracks at scoring a run. With a runner at second base, you have that opportunity. And a call, strike 3. Wilson strikes out Perez. And still runners at first and second. 1 away now.
That burns off the outside corner at 95. Pretty good pitch.
Eric Kratz now with 1 out. Kratz making his 2nd start of the series. He's 0 for 2. Had that little flare to right back in the 2nd inning. Looked like it might have scored a run, but Hayward made a great catch. A sliding catch. Saved a run. That was with a runner at third and only 1 away.
Still playing very deep out in right field.
Kratz has had the boomstick going here in Milwaukee. 6 games started. He's hit 3 homers. Well, he had a good cut at that one, and it goes to a ball and a strike. Homered in his first game as a Brewer, and then he homered again on Monday. Opposite field home run Monday. One nothing game. The Brewers threatening in the 7th. Wilson deals, and Kratz takes a ball high. 2-1. 3 balls and a strike now.
That missed by much. 96 below the knees.
Got Arcia on deck. Brewers at the bottom of their batting order. Kratz, the 7th place hitter. Looking for one mistake. Brewers don't have much speed on the bases, and Aguilar and Shaw. Outfield is deep. 3 balls and a strike, and Kratz a slow roller foul. It's 3-2. Justin Wilson is a tough left-hander to get a read on. He's an unusual left-handed pitcher in that he throws straight over the top, and it's got some hair on it.
Yeah.
He can bring it 95, 96 mile an hour with the fastball.
He's also got a change up. You're not sure if you're going to see one here.
Kratz, a shot to third. Listella's got it. Out at second. Double play to end the inning. Kratz hit it hard, but right at Listella. And the Brewers come up empty. They got their first 2 on. Cannot score. They still lead as we go to the 8th.
To you by Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories, and by Toyota. Let's go places.
A Lorenzo Cain homer. The difference in this one, it's 1-0 Brewers. What a game today. We head to the 8th. Don't forget, the 2018 FIFA World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1. 300 hours of coverage. Every match will be live. And it starts tomorrow, only on Fox and FS1. Brewers come up empty in the 7th. Strand a runner. And here we go to the 8th, and it's going to be Josh Hader out of the Brewer bullpen to face Albert Almora Jr., the pinch hitter.
Ordinarily, he does not pitch. Gets a couple of days off after pitching multiple innings. He threw on Monday against the Cubs, was charged with his 2nd blown save of the year, gave up a run in an inning and 2/3.
Almora will hit for Listella. Almora, with a batting average of .316, is among league leaders in that category. He had 2 hits in the game on Monday. Seventh in the league in batting, starting play today. Hader puts a fastball by him.
95 with good velocity.
Almora this year has been one of the better fastball hitters in the major leagues. It's in the high 370s on the fastball, but there aren't many fastballs like Josh Hader. Not just the velocity, but the release point in which he delivers as well. 0-2 pitch, and he struck him out. Another heater. 3 pitches. Hader with a strikeout for the first out of the 8th inning.
At 95, looked like it was in off the plate. Setting up inside, yep, way off the plate at 95 miles an hour. There's a big out, that first hitter.
Just think of that crossfire action from Hader. That thing comes from second base, it looks like.
And you got the shadows you're dealing with, right? I mean, you know, the batter's eyes in bright sunshine.
Anthony Rizzo now with 1 away. Rizzo is hitless today. Does have a hit against Hader. He's also walked. He's 1 for 2 against Hader. Had him out in front.
Fastball slider. The slider's been a more important part of what he does lately. Throwing a lot more of them to both left-handers and right-handers. Real good job keeping it down.
1 ball, 1 strike on the Cubs first baseman. 2-1. He missed with it. Tried the breaking ball again. And now Rizzo in a 3-1 count in a 1-0 game. Rizzo had a game-winning home run in the 11th inning of game 1 of this series. Big pitch coming here for Hader. Right on the edge. Perfect placement of the fastball. 3-2 now. Kratz wants a fastball upstairs. Hader crowding that plate. 3-2, and it is a strike called. A little bit of a late call, and Rizzo is hopping mad. Joe Madden hustling his way out there to keep Rizzo in the game. That's the crew chief behind the plate, Jim Reynolds. Arguing balls and strikes is usually a quick ejection. And Madden might be going. That pitch didn't look that bad.
No, well, do you feel sorry for any hitter gets rung up these days, honestly? I mean, as tight as the strike zone is, yep, it's on the corner, so you know what? Grab some pine. That's a strike. It was high enough, had the edge. I mean, you would think with that reaction, that's about, 6 inches outside, but nope. Borderline, yes, but close enough to swing.
2 outs in the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts. How about the 2 pitches for Hader on the 3-1 count?
Yeah.
And then the strikeout pitch. Switch hitter Ian Happ turns around right-handed, fouls that one right off his foot. Hader's command is what has taken him to that next level, pitching like an all-star.
What's impressive for me today is his velocity. Hitting in 2/3 on Monday. Here we are in a day game on Wednesday, and he's rushed it up there at 96 a couple of times today.
A ball and a strike. Hader trying to strike out the side here in this 8th inning. Happ, little flare, long run. Perez can't get it. Happ dumps one into shallow right. And will keep the inning alive for the Cubs. And we'll see if Madden wants to have Chris Bryant come hit. No, he's going to stick with Schwarber now.
It's been a full day of dribblers and jam shots for the Cubs. Yet another one.
And Schwarber will bat against Hader.
Surprised you don't have Bryant up there in this situation. Contreras available.
I'm with you on both accounts, either one. Lefty on lefty.
guess the only thing that he's thinking is, I mean, you get to the bottom of the order, you have the 9th inning to think about. And you got the 8 and 9 hitters probably going to be hitting. That's maybe when you're going to see those two guys.
Well, Hader falls behind him 2-0. Losing a little bit of the advantage here, the lefty on lefty advantage. Now that he's fallen behind. Schwarber has been good against lefties, hitting .313 this year. Different kind of lefty on the mound though in Hader. He doesn't give you much to look at. That crossfire delivery. And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he was ready to swing regardless there. Hader gained the slider.
Two outs, runner at first. Cubs have stranded 8 today. In there, strike 2. 2-2 now on Schwarber.
And Brewer's getting that marginal call today.
Hader's working on the edges. See what he has in mind for Schwarber. 2 outs. Tying run at first. 2-2 pitch. He is a little bit low. Count goes full. That means Happ will get a head start at first.
Yep. Outfield deep for the Brewers, trying to cut off those gaps.
Well, he threw him a 2-0 slider. Does he throw him a 3-2 breaking ball? What a matchup. Crowd's into it. Nearly 40,000. He's got the one he wants. Full count, 2 outs. Happ takes off and Schwarber swings and misses. Hader with the fastball. A strikeout to end it. 3 strikeouts in the 8th for Josh Hader. The Haderade. Sweet and salty today once again. 1-0 Brewers as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
Good pitching for Milwaukee, if not great. Josh Hader again, our Badger Mutual Insurance, plays of the game what he did in that 8th inning.
I'll tell you, that's for bouncing back after throwing over 30 pitches on Monday night, coming back, and really what he did is he got a strike zone. He was able to make some big pitches in real tough situations. A big inning to get through the 8th or with the meat of Cubs order up. Josh did a nice job.
Strikeout, strikeout, base hit, strikeout to get through that 8th inning. Brewers go to bat. Brewers Live postgame presented by Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin. Coming up after the game, we'll hear from Craig Counsell and get you set for the Brewers' next series against Philly. BA.
All right, thanks, Craig. And here we go to the bottom of the 8th with Orlando Arcia leading off. New Cubs pitcher is Steve Cishek. Changes for the Cubs. Almora will stay in the game to play center field. That moves Happ over to third base. And Arcia back up the middle. Baez. Throw is high and out of the glove of Rizzo. And Arcia will reach. Heck of an effort by Baez, but an infield hit for Orlando Arcia to start the 8th.
Well, yet another leadoff hitter aboard for the Brewers. That's 3 consecutive innings. Yeah, the prior 2, there's been double plays involved, but let's see if the Brewers can scratch out some insurance here.
Arcia with his first hit of the series. And now Craig Counsell is going to send Eric Thames to the plate, which means Joe Madden has a counter. Eric Thames announced as the pinch hitter. First bench player used by Counsell today. And Madden will make a double switch here. So Madden with a pitching change will set up the new hurler and the new left fielder when we continue. Steve Cishek, who has just been taken off the mound, will go play left field. It'll be the first time in his career he's ever played in the field. And Joe Madden will get the matchup he wants, lefty on lefty with Brian Dunsing against Eric Thames, but that keeps Cishek eligible to return to the mound for the next hitter.
Yeah, for Cain, and then maybe Dunsing will go to left and he'll come back in for Yelich. Always exciting to play the Cubs.
Joe Madden has done this in the past. He did it more with the Rays than he's done it with the Cubs. But he keeps his pitcher in the game in left field. Eric Thames is up against Dunsing. Brewers lead 1-0. Arcia with a leadoff single. I've talked to Madden about this before, covering him in the playoffs. He has not done this in the postseason. But he said in the right scenario he would, because pitchers shag every day in the outfield. And he actually asked his pitchers to play it off the live bat when they're shagging during batting practice, because it sets up an opportunity such as this. But that is a giant defensive hole in left field right now.
So do players' kids shagging batting practice.
That's true. That is true.
A little different in the game.
And broadcasters on occasion.
Yeah, we've been out there before.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, down and away. Well, Thames Coming off the bench, he got a start yesterday, returning from the disabled list. He was out for nearly 7 weeks with a thumb injury, had thumb surgery, ligament damage. And a swing and a miss. So Thames is a strikeout victim, and now Madden will go for the flip-flop.
Dunsing is going to go out to left field.
Cishek has to get a new glove. My contention here is that, and I remember a game, it was a while back, it was in Tampa Bay, but the pitcher came in who was in the outfield, actually got 8 more warm-up tosses, which I don't know about that.
Yeah, well,
I'm down on that part of it. Cishek comes back in to play pitcher, and Dunsing will head out to the outfield. All legal. I think counsel is asking him about the warm-up pitches.
Well, he's allowed to get his 8 warm-ups. I would imagine now after Cain's at bat, you're going to see Dunsing back in there. He'll get 8 warm-up pitches.
That's the one part of this rule I don't like. I think if you stay in the game, you shouldn't get the warm-up pitches.
Right. Well,
you're essentially getting 2 rounds of warm-ups. It's not a huge deal, but it is a deal.
Well, it's not something that really comes up all that often.
Typically only with Joe Madden.
You're right.
The mad scientist is at work.
He's trying to reinvent the wheel.
And now Dunsing needs a new glove. And what he has apparently does not catch fly balls, so they gave him one that does.
Yeah, too small. Probably grabbed a Jason Hayward glove. Get the highlight basket out there in the outfield.
He's got the glove now that says, "Don't hit it to me" on it. So it's Cishek against Cain with a runner at first and 1 away. Worst case scenario for Joe Madden right now, all kidding aside with this maneuvering, is a line shot down the line with Arcia having a chance to score, and Dunsing's got to make a long throw.
Right, exactly. Well, the point is you got to get one out there to see what happens.
No balls and a strike, and Cain lays off.
Joe Madden is banking that there's not going to be a ball hit out there.
Dunsing has never played in the field in a major league game either. I bet his heart is pounding right now. The 1-1 pitch to Cain. Inside, almost hit him. Two balls and a strike. 2-2.
That sweeping breaking pitch for Cishek. Very difficult on a right-handed batter.
Cain's mad at himself. He saw it. He recognized it early, but was just a little ahead of it. Took a big swing. Arcia the runner at first. 2-2 the count on Lorenzo Cain. And a fastball missed. I'm sure that's got Anthony Rizzo.
Yeah, he's
a little upset.
He's kind of looking over at Zobrist. If looks could kill. That was borderline. That could have been a strike.
3-2 the count on Cain. Arcia starts then stops. Cain fouls it away. Great strategy involved in this one. Terrific pitching. We're in June, and this feels like a postseason intensity.
Yes, it does. It's fun.
I love it. Full count again. Arcia goes, and Cain chops one foul. Cain hit a home run in the 3rd inning with 1 out. Only run on the board today. The Brewers have just 4 hits. Another 3-2 pitch from CHN, and he'll step off and check on Arcia. Rizzo coming off the bag. There goes Arcia. Cain fouls it off. He's hanging tough.
Yeah, baseball moving one way or another. The slider going away from him. That sidearm fastball sinking in on his hands. Just wanting to see if CHN's going to leave one out over the plate for him. He's done a couple of times, but that big sink has got Cain beating it into the ground.
Do it again. Another 3-2 pitch from CHN. And another step off. There goes Arcia. Cain bounces another one foul.
He's young. He can take it.
Getting his wind sprints in.
Keep running. Good one down in the corner and left.
Pitch number 10 of the at-bat for CHN against Cain. Arcia goes, and a bouncing ball. Zobrist. That'll keep the Brewers out of a double play. Cain is out. Good battle there with Lorenzo and CHN. And now the Brewers have a runner in scoring position. And now Madden comes back out. I don't think he'll make the flip-flop now, but we'll see.
Well, you got Braun on deck. Why wouldn't he?
That's a good point.
Double switch now. You got Contreras going down to left field.
Tempting fate, maybe. All right, so now Dunsing will come from left and go back on the mound. Contreras will take over in left field. And after all of that, you put Contreras in the pitcher spot. He'll be due up 3rd in the 9th. If my counting is correct.
Yeah, well, close enough.
Dunsing will get more warm-ups. So here's my argument with that. If you're gonna, let's say a position player changes position, you know, it happens a lot.
Right.
Let's say a guy like Hernan Perez goes from 3rd base to left field. You don't give Hernan Perez throws to loosen up. Now, if Perez had come off the bench, you would.
I remember, was it last week, maybe the week before, where Joe Madden had Baez and LaStella flip-flopping based on who was up?
Yeah. You don't let them take ground balls.
Right? Yeah, you're right. I agree. But you know what? This happens, what, once every 100 years?
Pedro Strop would face Braun if it gets to that point.
I guess pitch count got to CHN.
Or too many innings in the outfield.
Right, yeah.
Too many high-stress pitches in the outfield.
All right, it's just something else playing these Cubs, isn't it?
There's only so much you can take out there, man. All right, so the stage is set here with a runner at second. That's a big run for the Brewers to try to pick up. Christian Yelich at the plate. Arcia with the leadoff single at second base. And Yelich into left field. There's an actual left fielder out there, and he will run it down for the out. So the inning ends. I bet Joe Madden's glad he had Contreras out there that time. All eyes on Corey Knebel, the all-star closer, a chance to save this one today.
Friday through Sunday, check out the complete schedule, which includes half-price tickets to Friday's opener, Pack at the Park on Saturday, and replica bullpen card giveaway on Sunday by going to brewers.com/promotions.
Here we go to the ninth in a 1-0 game. The Brewers trying to shut out the Cubs in back-to-back games. Beat the Cubs 4-0 yesterday. First place on the line. Corey Knebel has 5 saves. Spent a little over a month on the disabled list with a hamstring injury. And has come back strong. He did get it together on Monday. He hadn't pitched in 6 days. First 6 pitches he threw in the game on Monday were balls.
And then toward the end of that appearance, he had the good curveball working. That was Monday. Inning and a third scoreless for Corey.
He will face Javier Baez to start it. Starts him with a hook. Missed with it. Opponent's batting average is low against Knebel. And you put the 2 years together, last year and this year, among the best in the league. There's a fastball, strike. 1-1 now. Combined the last 2 seasons, opponents hitting just 177 against Knebel. Major league average the last 2 years, 235. The 1-1 and a drive into center field. Cain is right there. Played the liner perfectly. And Baez is retired.
Yep, hit it right on the screws right there, but lined it right to Cain. Seemed as though he was looking for that curveball and hit it hard. He spanked it out there in the center.
One gone, and here is Chris Jimenez now. Start to get the feeling that Joe Madden has made up his mind that this is a complete day off for Chris Bryant.
Yeah, this is when you would use him right here. You got the top of the order coming up after Contreras. Not sure who you pinch hit for. You know, at the top of the order. But you would have thought perhaps you would have seen Bryant here.
Only once have the Brewers beaten the Cubs here at Miller Park with a final of 1-0. Craig Counsell hit a solo home run that day. That was back on July 5th of 2004. Wow. It's 1-0 Brewers with 1 out in the ninth. And a foul out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the Cubs catcher. A Counsell solo homer in 2004 to give the Brewers a 1-0 win. A fun fact that I'm sure he would love to hear about after a 1-0 win today.
Unlikely power source.
1-2 pitch. Just got a piece. Went back to the fastball. The Brewers have not had back-to-back shutouts against the Cubs since 2006. One and two. Knebel deals and a strikeout for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down. He powered him up with the fastball. First strikeout for Knebel.
Yeah, 1 curveball. It was off the plate. You know, and after the way Baez hit the curveball, he just decided I'm going upstairs with 96. Give him my best fastball, see who wins, and he got it by him.
1 out away for Knebel. Wilson Contreras, the hitter, entered the game last inning defensively in left. He's got some pop. And Contreras with a big swing. He fouls it back.
A good spot for that heater up and in.
Contreras is 0 for 4 career against Knebel. Does have a hit in this series. Started the first 2 games behind the plate of this series. No balls and a strike. And a swing and a miss. Another fastball right down the middle.
He wanted it upstairs, left it right down Main Street. Let's see if he bounces the curve or tries to elevate the fastball again.
A strike away from a win. And back-to-back shutouts. 0-2 pitch. He got him. A strikeout to end it. And the Brewers win.
Yeah, that's a big win for the Brewers. They needed that one. What a pitching performance. How about the pitching in this series, partner? My goodness.
Corey Knebel with his 6th save. Lorenzo Cain's homer the difference. And the Brewers get back-to-back shutout wins over the Cubs. First time against the Cubs since 2006. 12 years before they turn this trick here today. And the Brewers will remain in first place with a day off tomorrow, and the Phillies coming in on Friday. 1-0 the final today. The Brewers win it. They beat the Cubs and take 2 out of 3 in the series. Time for Brewers Live. Let's check in with Craig Cashon standing by down the right field corner. Go ahead, Craig.
All right, BA, what a win for the Brew crew. Good smile on Craig Counsell's face. We'll hear from him. Also, there's your hero, Lorenzo Cain, on the offensive side. A solo home run. We'll get you set for the Phillies series, all coming up next on Brewers Live.